Welcome to Books and Boulders, the podcast where we take a break from climbing, sit back, and dive into the world of adventure books.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Books and Boulders, your adventure and book reading and wellness podcast. It's evolving.
It is.
But I love that. Yeah, I'm your host, Melody.
And I am Tiffany.
Yeah, and yeah, we're back at it again with another episode. We're reading Enough by Melissa Arnot Reid. Um, and we're on part three, um, which I just realized these parts don't have names. So yeah, we're on part three that covers I think 4 chapters. But yeah, I guess before we get into it, we'll do check-ins because it's fun to just talk.
Welcome to Books and Boulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goal is to start doing yoga every day, and if not in the morning before bed. So I didn't do it this morning. I do morning affirmations guided by YouTube,
Wow.
and not my YouTube. Somebody else's YouTube gives me life, and I do morning affirmations. Sometimes I do evening ones too. But after that, I'm trying to start doing at least 30 minutes of yoga. Like my 40 plus body just be having like tightness in parts that don't make any sense. So
Right.
I'm trying to be more mindful of my mental and physical to start and or end my day. That is
I
my
love that. Yeah.
goal. And
Word.
that's my update really, is that it feels, I don't know who created positive talk affirmations, but that it works.
Wow. Okay.
Because when I was in like my depression of what the heck am I going to do with my life? Everything is a dumpster fire. The world is a dumpster fire. Like that constant barrage of negative energy, I think
Yeah.
latched on and sucked the soul out of my body. Like I am not
Yeah.
kidding you. And ever since I started doing affirmations
It's a
almost every
dementor.
day, like
Yeah.
no lie, I'm about to start writing some and putting them on my bathroom mirror too. A la Being Mary Jane, if anybody
Oh my
watched that
God.
show.
Wait, was that the Gabrielle Union show?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm about to start writing my goal based
I
affirmations
liked
on
that show.
my mirror because I feel lighter in a
Good.
way, and like I don't know, and yes, the world is still a dumpster fire, and no, I don't have it all figured out, but it can't be all blackness. Like it just can't be all
Yeah.
darkness. Like it can't. It can't.
Yeah.
It can't. It can't.
Right.
And drinking this tea is bringing me joy. Listening to music in the morning. Like you have to find an ounce of joy
Yeah.
because we don't know when the last day is. Like we just don't know. And I'm like, why am I going to fight any degree of happiness just because everything else is so bad?
Yeah. It's like
I
an
can't do it.
active resistance to
Yeah.
be happy, or to find happiness and peace and joy. At the very least,
Yeah.
peace. Like, um, amongst the other things. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, we have this orange turd in office, and life can't be about all of the destruction and chaos that he's causing. Because, I mean, then that would like be also just like fulfilling his plan, and nobody wants that. Like he wants us to hate ourselves and be miserable in the same way that he hates himself
And I
and
mean,
is
if you think of
rotting on
other
the inside.
generations that have had to go through situations like this,
Yeah.
I'm sure they still found some joy somewhere, whether
Yeah.
it was Sunday
Woodstock.
dinners.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, you know, I used to think that, like, if I wasn't fighting the power and on the
Mm,
front lines and this and that, then I'm not a real warrior. I'm not a real soldier and I'm not a real activist. But I think
yeah.
like activism just has to look differently for everybody.
Yeah,
And
totally.
thinking that it has to look the same is crazy. It's crazy.
And
So
it's a I don't know, it's a bit buzzwordy and like contrived at this point, but you really can't pour from an empty cup. Like if you're always in fight or flight mode, or like, always kind of like in that really intense mode of thinking and operating, I don't know, I just don't see how you renew your energy to like keep going. So yeah, I'm with you. I love that for you.
yeah, I am just honestly, I just feel light. Um, I feel brighter. I've been like, and we talked about this, but working from home, you kind of get into this comfortable mode. Um, and so I get up, I get dressed, I wear makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup. It's not obvious, but I do. I'll put on jewelry and I'll put on a little makeup. I have
Aw,
this routine of doing my nails now and just
love
trying to
that.
like embrace, my femininity, which the body has been a factor in that, I think, because before I didn't really care, whereas now I almost feel like I need to dress it up a little bit, but at the same time, I don't care.
Yeah,
It's a weird mixing. I think it's just like I enjoy it. I like
yeah,
the accentuation of it doing those things,
totally.
but then I can also put on a hat or a wrap and just live my
Right.
life and not care. So,
Yeah.
getting back into the routine of I'm home. I need to go back to swimming weekly and my workout routine. But
Yeah.
overall, I feel optimistic, not even cautiously. I just feel optimistic about
Aw.
things. So,
Be optimistic. You can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. Be optimistic. I love that song. Do you know what song I'm talking about?
I only know. I Yes and no.
Really?
So
Okay.
I know a song that says keep your head to the sky, but they don't
Yeah.
say the words be optimistic. So I didn't know if
Really?
you were like merging two songs.
No, it's a song.
I
It's
know
called,
that
I think it's
you
called,
can win
yep.
as long as you keep your head to the
Uh-huh.
sky.
And then in the background they say, "Be optimistic." You
Oh,
should
see, I didn't
listen
know
to it
that's what they
again.
were saying in the background.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the background ad libs. I was like, be optimistic? Oh. So yes, I do know the song, but definitely heard
The-
it a little different.
yeah, that's funny. Wow. Yeah, cool. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, I feel like I have definitely been going through it. First of all, very happy to hear that. Love that for you.
Oh gosh.
I
No. I don't know if I like where this is going.
No, it's
Okay, I'm
no, it's
listening.
going great. um I don't know. Just I think that's really cool. And I feel like I like am in a similar place of like rediscovery. I don't know what you would call it, but like in a similar place of trying to like become reacquainted with myself and the things that I love and the things that bring me joy and like just my personality. And I won't go into what's been going on, but
The depths of depth. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I've been experiencing some transitions, which have been kind of hard. Um, and yeah, but it's also like it's a weird mix of like, oh, I'm really sad, and also, oh, like I feel like I feel like the door, I don't know, like I feel like the light starting to like come pour in a little bit more, and that's really nice. Yeah, my weekend was cool. I had a fun weekend. And it was just like chill, and it was like a mix of doing stuff and also being responsible. I'm trying to get into roller skating. Speaking of like practices of
Oh,
joy and like I don't know, I'm kind of obsessed with movement. Like I just love movement. Like I think it's so cool, and I'm just always looking for new ways to incorporate movement into my lifestyle because I like fitness and exercise, but I don't like I find the idea of like going to a gym and doing reps and like that kind of thing kind of boring. So like yeah, climbing, hiking. I want to get into biking, but I'm also trying to find more things that I feel comfortable and confident doing on my own. And
Mm-hmm.
biking is not one of them yet. Um, but yeah, I went to a park near my house because I really wanted to learn how to roller skate. I've been wanting to for a while, but I'm afraid to go to the rink. So I've been trying to find like good places outdoors that have
I'm
like,
just impressed that there is a rink. That's great.
oh, in New Mexico?
I'm glad there's still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Stranger Things, right?
Hmm.
Or you've heard of it at least. A lot of the sets that were filmed at the roller skating rink. I've never actually watched the show, but I know quite a there's like a roller skating rink in the show, I guess.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was all filmed at the Albuquerque
Oh, I
Skate
didn't know
Arena.
that. I didn't honestly know where the show was filmed
Yeah, it's in
at
New
all.
Mexico. Uh-huh.
That makes
There's
sense.
like a lot of shows filmed in New Mexico and movies. The Harder They Fall, if you'd heard about that
Hmm.
one. Obviously Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Anyways, lots of stuff going on here. Um, but yeah, what else? What else? What else? What else? So that was cool. I like learned how to like do the little bubble things where you like go in and out, and that was pretty fun. So
How are
I'm really
you?
excited.
Do you have someone with you, or is this like yourself teaching your
I'm just
like?
teaching myself for the most part. A friend told me about a rink that's not too, it's not, it's like an, I guess, like a field that people use it for roller derby and like soccer. But it's also open to the public when their teams are not practicing. So she goes on Wednesday nights. So I might go with her. But yeah, I went on my own on Saturday and I've just been like watching YouTube videos trying to like learn some of the basic stuff. So yeah, I'm just taking it slow and just enjoying the process of learning. So that's cool. And then yeah, like went and got groceries and actually cooked them. So that's cool too.
Whoa, adulting,
I know.
adulting. Yeah,
Yeah. And
my
then
little baby's growing up.
I know, right? Yeah, back in the day, I would just get groceries just to feel it's like when you buy books and don't read them. Like I would get groceries and I would feel better about getting groceries, but then I would like go order something to eat instead of like cooking what I had. So yeah, I'm doing better. But yeah, and then Sunday I went climbing and that was really fun.
Yay!
Yeah,
Out
it's like
in?
a in New Mexico, there's like this local crag, which I
Oh,
love.
out. Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Outside.
yeah. It's like a local crag. And yeah, it's like nice because it's kind of like it's not a mountain project yet, so it's like a little
Mm.
hidden gem of the state, I guess. And yeah, I led two tens. I know. I sent one.
Whoa.
They were only 10A, but still, I felt pretty proud of that.
Sorry. Any trad lead. I don't care if it's a
Oh,
five
it wasn't
five.
trad.
It's oh,
It was
okay.
sport. Yeah, no
Okay.
way. I mean, maybe one day I'll be able to lead a trad
Oh,
five.
so it's a secret
Right.
sport crag.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
That's fun.
I know. Yeah, you have to come out
I
if you
am
want
gonna come to New Mexico.
to.
I really want to go to a hot spring. Are those
Ooh.
there? Those are
Hmm.
there. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah. There's like
Uh,
fancy, nice bougie ones. I think you would like Ojo Caliente a lot. That one's
yeah,
like a
yes.
fancier
You know
one.
me so well. Nice and bougie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah,
yeah.
I I'm not gonna talk about me, but I am so happy for you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
And honestly, just you finding joy in climbing, I think it's so challenging because you have to have people to go
Hmm.
climbing with,
Yeah.
and I have a very, very small group of people here
Hmm.
to do that with that I trust.
Hmm.
And so, and if I were, it's still like an hour to 2 hour long drive process. Like I actually genuinely want to climb more, and I just
Hmm.
actually don't feel like I have the type of community that I want to have to do it on a regular basis.
Mm.
Especially
Yeah.
bouldering, which I mean, obviously it's almost winter now, so me bouldering outside is a
Mm.
pipe dream and something that I need to just wait for, but I don't know. I think I'm happy that I'm finding other non-climbing communities, but
Yeah.
I do still have this love affair with the sport, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
wish you and other people lived out here.
I
That's all. But
know.
it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. We're
Oh.
fine. Everybody's fine.
Yeah. Shall we get into enough?
Yeah, yeah.
I
We
don't
got
have
a
the
few more parts before this
lead.
here season wraps. So,
Yeah.
um
Two more after
we're
this?
two more after today. Yeah, we have two
Yeah.
more before we wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So yeah,
cool.
we are on part 3, and like you said, that is 4 chapters.
Yes. Four chapters, and we're kicking it off with chapter 9, A Man's World. This is a
Mm,
man's world. Is that James Brown?
yes.
I want to listen to more James Brown. Um,
Same. I actually think I said I'm gonna start listening to jazz every Sunday. Not that James
mm,
Brown is jazz, but there's
yeah.
genres of music that I actually really love that I have neglected.
Well, great. Yeah, A Man's World. This section was I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. We'll just start. Okay,
I
so
think I know where you're going with this section because I think it's how I felt about this section,
yeah.
but it didn't
Yeah,
hit me in the way the other two did. That's all I'll say.
for sure. Yeah. The end was like, whoa, damn. but, but but everything else, I was like, okay, cool. So I think, we'll probably get through the first three chapters pretty quick. I imagine we'll spend like more time talking about the last one. But yeah, in chapter 9, she's in Nepal. And I guess this must have been her second time in Everest, maybe. I don't know. Probably not her first time. But her first time in Everest with Mike, who's that dude from Hollywood. And she's climbing up with him. She's getting mentored by Dave Morton. I guess he was like a friend of Mike's who also is an experienced mountaineer and I think has done trips with Mike before. Um, and yeah, I think she was nervous just about not making it to Everest. China had shut down climbing on Everest so that their Olympic team could carry a torch.
Mm.
So yeah,
The Chinese team.
yeah,
Hmm.
they were basically like, no one else can climb right now because we need to get our athletes to the summit. I guess as some sort of like publicity event or something like that. And Nepal was like, yeah, okay, heard, because I guess Nepal's like this tiny little country and China's like this massive empire. Um, yeah, I guess it gets interesting when we realize that Brad is also on Everest.
Oh, Brad, go home.
I know they always seem to find each other on different parts of the planet. But yeah, he sucks. He sucks. And he like broke up with her again while she's on Everest trying to like do her thing. She's guiding these clients and he sees her in a tent with, the rest of her team.
Men,
And
aka men.
yeah. And just immediately gets jealous and breaks up with her again. And basically just, yeah, he just sucks. He's trying to break her down and ruin every good thing that happens to her. And I just want to say, obviously not all men are like this. Like, obviously I know that. But it does seem like a trend to like destroy women who have positive things going for them.
It's rare and it's not funny, but
Yeah.
I think it goes along with that whole concept of men considering themselves the leader. And I don't know much about this whole red pill stuff. I know that's a whole thing,
Hmm.
but I know there's just that mentality. And so it's almost like back in the 60s and 70s when women were just the nurses and the secretaries.
Hmm.
It's like stay in your lane, stay in your position. And if you try to
Hmm.
rise above that position, you're trying to be a man or you're trying to compete with a man. And there's just this
Yeah.
like power imbalance. And obviously, Melissa is also choosing older men
Mhm.
who almost will always
Mhm.
look down on her as if she is beneath them. She's younger, she's less experienced, because she's also finding men in a very masculine industry.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I it is not all men, but unfortunately, I would say a much larger segment than I would like. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of that segment is being influenced by other podcasters, obviously not us,
Yeah.
but other people who are saying you need to be the man and you need to act like the man and
I
man, man,
know.
man, arg. So,
Yeah.
I think it makes it difficult for successful independent women. I think you can be successful and independent and be in a relationship in which you depend on someone, just not
Mhm.
necessarily financially. Maybe just
Yeah.
emotionally. I need you emotionally. And it's interesting because men will complain about, oh, gold diggers and this, that, and the third, but you want to be the alpha, but you don't want to be. It just always so
Right.
contradictory to me. I don't get it, which is
Yeah.
why I just mind my business. Just mind my business. Stay over
Yeah.
here in the happy place.
Yeah, yes. I hear that. No, I hear that. Yeah. If men suck, leave them alone. and and if they're cool and if they're good and if they respect what you have going on, then it's like, okay, you can hang out with me over here, but I'm not like I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm fresh out of a relationship. It's just like so many revelations about like life and like
Yes. It's an awakening.
it
It's an
really
awake
is
it's an
like
awakening that we all have to have, and unfortunately it almost always happens in our 30s.
yeah,
Why?
yeah, but I mean it's like it's not it's scary. It's uncomfortable, but it is generally like net positive. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
but yeah, it's just like right, like you don't you don't compromise. Where are the kids say compromise? A man comes into my life and you want me to compromise? Yeah, like
You and these
you just like
one-liners, you
no.
gotta get you a t-shirt line. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like yeah, there's no I don't know. I feel like I said I wasn't going to get into it and here I am getting into it. But I do feel like just really quickly like I do feel like I like just slowly without even really being conscious of it like gave up little pieces of myself, to like settle into like something that felt more familiar and comfortable, which was a relationship. And like by the end of it, I was just like I'm here and
Who
myself
am
is like
I?
a mile away. And I'm just like, wait, I'm reaching out to myself, like, come back. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, just like the things that we like, I don't know, might give up just for like the comfort of a relationship that's really not actually doing anything positive for us. So
Or
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I
it gets
know,
it gets
right?
very uncomfortable very fast. You think
I
you're doing something for
know.
comfort, and then it's just like, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? And you
Yeah.
don't know how to get out. And then when you're out, yeah, you're missing some elements of what might have been comfortable, but then you start to feel who you are again, and you're like, oh my God,
You're like,
this
wait, we're
is
never going back.
what?
Like,
Yeah, it's a very
yeah.
peculiar thing. And, although this is not a relationship podcast, although it could be, Lord have mercy. Um, I think the thing that I am learning, and this can even connect back to Melissa, you will never find yourself in someone else. You won't.
Mm,
Like, you have to
mm,
unequivocally know who you are
yeah.
and be undeniably in love with yourself before
Yeah.
you can really love somebody else. Because if you love somebody, you would never hide or compromise who you are for them, because you
Yeah.
would want them to see those things about yourself. That's how you almost
Right.
know you don't have like 100% self love. And I'm not even saying that everybody can even get to 100% self love. I think that's some straight up Dalai Lama type stuff. Like, you have to really, really
Yeah.
have your mind game on point.
Yeah. I think
But
Alex Honnold probably experiences that. I don't know. Just knowing like the way that he climbs, that's a whole other conversation. But I think that man knows himself at a level that very few people don't. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just know that for me, that's something that I've started to realize that I can never make anyone happy until
Yeah.
I find all of who I am
Yeah.
and am ready to like share all of who I am. Because
Hmm.
you can't find it with someone. Like you're not gonna be like, ah. And I mean, maybe some people do. They work through it. Folks who
Yeah.
get married young and they make it through those hurdles. I think it's just a harder path. I do think it's
Yeah.
possible, but
It
I
requires a
think
lot of boundary setting and like purposeful, like well, a lot of purpose and
yeah.
intentionality. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Melissa has no idea who she is. I mean, we know that she has relationship issues that stem
Yeah.
from a very young age.
Yeah.
And she is just finding herself in this sport that she loves, that she's tying up into men because she's always needed the validation of a man to feel
Hmm.
whole. And as we'll see coming up, that just is the cycle that continues. It's just I can't do this thing without a man, especially
Right.
one who knows more than me, who can get me to the next stage of this career.
Right.
And a lot of people do it.
Hmm.
A lot, man, woman in general, we do these things like
Yeah.
for that validation.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Anyways.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brad still sucks and he's still
The worst.
sucky.
Sucky. Yeah. It's yeah. I guess just one last point. It's like really interesting here like hearing you say all of that and just thinking about Melissa and how she doesn't know how like who she is kind of. It's really interesting like seeing the men that she like goes for and chooses, and that is like a reflection of like how she feels about herself. Like ultimately the people that we choose are, I think, reflections of ourselves and like what we think about. The people that we like decide to commit to, I think are some level of reflection about who we think that we are and how we see ourselves. And I had another point that I kind of wanted to make, but then I forgot it. But yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know where I heard this, but like maybe my parent. I feels like some wisdom that my parents passed down to me. But it's like if you don't, yeah, if you don't know who you are and like stand on business, somebody will tell you who you are. And I feel like, these men have like kind of tried to like dictate to her who she is because they sense they can smell the the uncertainty and like the, I guess, like lack of like self-confidence. But at the same time, she's like building that up, and she's like, I think through this section, one thing that I am kind of starting to notice is that like she is like it feels like she is evolving in the sense of like she's setting firmer boundaries with these men, and like there were a couple of times where I feel like she could have been like, I'm gonna like go back to this guy, because like he wants to be with me. Or she could have stayed in these toxic cycles and like ultimately ended up choosing herself. So I feel like slowly she's like growing and evolving and like really stepping into herself. But yeah. So okay, moving on. She's we're right, she's on Everest. She's broken
Yeah,
up
I
with
think
Brad
the
again.
Chinese team summited, which ultimately allowed them to proceed in their attempt.
Right. So they did get to summit Everest. One of the things that like I always forget that like this is I just I don't know if Everest is, it's not really something I care to do. Like it's like I don't know. I love that for the people who want to, but it's just so wild to me that like there's just like bodies as landmarks on the
Have we
like
got, was that in this chapter that was here?
yeah, I forget, I think the man's name was Scott Fisher at least. I'm sure this wasn't the only body that she saw on Everest, but there was some
Yeah, that's a
guy.
hard no for me, but that was a no for me back when we heard about Chuck.
Yeah,
So,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Ever since
Right.
Chuck, I don't think I
Yeah.
actually knew what alpinism was until that book. And
You're like, no, I'm cool. Yeah.
first of all, I don't like to be cold. A
Oh my God, I hate being cold. It sucks.
So this is why like alpinism and ice climbing are the two iterations of climbing that I'm like, mm,
Yeah.
probably not. I've
Yeah.
ice climbed ish in a ice climbing indoor gym setting.
Huh.
Um, do
Interesting.
I want to do it outside? I just have like
Yeah.
images of ice falling and breaking my glasses,
Oh my God.
on some, Christmas story type ish. Like I cannot. I don't know nothing about ice climbing for me sounds fun. I see it
Yeah.
and I did it
Hmm.
and I actually do think I could do it. I think once upon a time with my ankle, I didn't think I could do something like that, but I actually think I could do it.
Yeah.
Now it's a matter of I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't ask
Yeah.
me. Um, I would maybe go to a nice climbing festival for the vibes, but no,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there are so many other things I would rather do than that.
Yeah, I agree. I've never really appealed to me. Mountaineering, maybe, because I feel like within mountaineering, there's like a range. Like, obviously,
Hmm.
Everett is like one extreme, but there's like, you can go to Rainier and like Mountaineer. And it's like, I don't think nearly as like, I guess depending on what summit you choose, like, but I don't think it's like nearly as hardcore. I don't think the elevation is as high. And, I think it's mostly just like kind of like hiking and maybe dealing with a little bit of like rock climbing or like more technical stuff. But, um, yeah, the idea of doing Everest, the idea of just like doing anything where I just like have to see bodies like every couple at every base camp. There's just like some folks who didn't make
You
it,
could
and I'm just like,
die. You could
yes.
die harder. Like that's to me, that would be what the ghost would be saying to me. Because
Yeah,
trust me,
join us.
if I die on Rainier, I'm staying there forever. I'm I ain't going
Right.
nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I agree. Not super appealing to me. But yeah, as she summits, and I think she like just feels like really stoked, really excited, like, and there's just like this promise that she makes to herself that like it's like this is my home, I belong here, like, and I'm gonna show myself, and I'm gonna show the mountains, and I'm gonna show everyone. Um, After she summits Everest, she heads back to Rainier, which is like her base camp for the moment, or her home base. And yeah, she's with Rainier Mountain. I don't remember what the RMI
Oh,
stands for,
the
but
company.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and she ends up going back to Brad.
Of course.
Yeah. Again. But I'm optimistic. But yeah, she ends up going back to him. Ends up becoming an Eddie Bauer athlete. So she's like starting to really like settle into her career.
And like a real one, not like
Yeah,
modern day times where athletes don't get
I
paid.
know.
She was making more money as an athlete than she was as a guide.
Yeah.
Like
Which
if
is
she
crazy because
wanted
she,
four walls, she could get
yeah,
four walls instead of just sleeping out of her truck.
right. Yeah. And it's like the main reason they wanted her as an athlete is because she was a guide. Well, I don't know. It's just interesting
And
how
probably a
that
female
works.
guide. That
Yeah.
may have played into it. But
I'm sure. I'm sure.
that just gagged me in a way because I'm just like,
Yeah,
I doubt Eddie Bauer does that
I know.
anymore. I doubt they're
Yeah.
paying because
Because she was also like, I think helped designing the gear or like,
they were
yeah,
the whole thing was them testing out the
right,
gear on Everest
right.
to like make a point of its how it can hold up to whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just fascinated me because I'm like, you know, ABC brand, you know me, I don't like to shout them out too hard, but like
Yeah.
there's other brands that I'm like, I know they're not paying athletes wages to where they can live
Mm-hmm. I
anymore.
know. Yeah.
So I don't know.
True. They
Maybe
be
it's
paying people in
inflation.
gear for real. Like
Exactly. I
I
think
know some athletes that
yeah,
just like, yeah.
woke up and was like, "Wait, why are we giving them salaries? They ain't
Yeah.
doing nothing and they're, you know."
Yeah. They don't need to eat. Anyways,
And that's the thing. These people weren't social media influencers. They weren't like,
no,
so it's interesting that they were paying them then, whereas
right.
now people who are potentially influencing people to buy your products, whether you
Yeah.
can prove it or not. I know there's ways to prove it, but
Mm,
anyway, I just think it's funny that once the sport diversifies,
yeah.
then we pull back and be like, oh, no, no, we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah. I just think it's
Anyway,
funny how.
but holler at me, Eddie Bauer, if you need a gear tester.
Yeah,
So,
right, right. I feel like I've known like a few people that have like worked with that brand and had good experiences. So
positive, yeah.
yeah,
Same.
yeah,
We're not shading.
yeah,
We'll say their name, even though we didn't say it earlier, because we have no hate for anyone, but we definitely don't have any hate for EB. So
yeah, totally. Um, Word. So yeah, she's becoming an athlete, getting sponsorships. Like I feel like she's like really stepping into her career. She's sensing some envy from Peter, just another man just hating. But I mean, it seems like at least her relationship with Peter, like I'm sure that like she experiences some envy from him, but I think he's also kind of been a mentor to her and like has genuinely like helped her in a lot of positive ways. But I don't know. I think it's like a I don't yeah, I don't know. I think they have an interesting relationship and an interesting dynamic, it sounds like. But anyways, Peter is planning a trip, right, with the EB team. He's just trying to I think he hasn't summited Everest and he like wants to this is
yeah,
like twofold for him. Like one, it's like an important like business kind of like partnership that he's trying to build. And then also he wants to summit Everest and he's like, nothing is gonna stop me. Yeah, and then she breaks up with Radigan. uh,
yeah, and but there's a
but
but.
what? Don't remind me.
But she
Oh, right,
said
right. The butt. Yes. Tell us
she
the
didn't
butt.
just break up because our girl can't be alone. Come on
I
now.
know. Yeah.
She was like, the only way she could make it official is by marrying someone else.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
how the chapter ends.
That's how the chapter ends. Yeah. Yeah. And she said that she just needed to like be with somebody else, which is just I don't know. I know the feeling, but like don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're not getting over heartbreak. You're just kicking the can down the road. Like you have to go through it. Um, but yeah, I guess she'll learn. So yeah, that's chapter 9. Any final thoughts from you? We discussed a lot. We went into it. There
Yeah,
was
I
more
didn't
there than
even.
I realized.
Yeah, I didn't plan to get that deep with but congrats, she made it up a mountain. Good job,
Yay.
a
Good
very
job.
big one.
Yay, big mountain. Look at that big, strong mountain. Um, okay, cool. Chapter 10 Someone Else's Climb. I haven't been paying quite as much attention to the titles of these. A Man's World definitely feels very obvious for that one. Someone Else's Climb. Hmm. We'll have to unpack that later. But it's 2009. She is back in Everest. Goodness gracious. Second home. I can't imagine just being cold like that for like so much of my life.
No, nope,
Sleeping in a
no.
tent, that's just so rugged. Oh, just I'm too tender.
I'm too
um
bougie, as we've established.
so yeah, last year. So yeah, here's I think this chapter she's really starting to kind of like I think yeah, in the last chapter she's definitely stepping into her own as a mountaineer, as a guide, as like a professional athlete. Um in this chapter she's all about really just setting goals and like making some things happen. And so she crossed paths at Everest the previous year with this woman named Gerlind Kalterbruner. um I probably butchered that.
Hafzenbrunner.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh, I know.
Austrian, so
My American accent is, I'm not even going to try to do an Austrian accent because I literally don't know what that sounds like. But
Altenbrunner.
Gerlin Kalterbruner, my most American Midwest accent. She's an Austrian alpinist, and she was on a quest to become the first woman to summit Everest without oxygen, and this really inspired Melissa. And she decided that she was going to commit to that goal herself. Um, and so she mentions it to Peter, and he's just like annoyed with her because, like I said in the last chapter, they're planning this big push to Everest. And he's just like annoyed because I think he thinks she's gonna weigh him down in his like push to do the thing. So
I
he
mean,
hands
he's
her off
like,
to
it's already hard. Why are you trying to
right.
make it harder?
Yeah, yeah. Which
Like,
which is fair. I guess I get that.
yeah, I mean, because it's his first time.
It's his
So
first time.
he's
Yeah.
like,
High stakes.
we're not about to be carrying your non-oxygen, like,
Yeah.
puffing butt up this
Yeah.
mountain because you don't want
I
to do
know. You gonna be
like,
one of them landmarks. You better chill
oh
out.
no, that's awful.
I know. She
Yeah.
wasn't though. She survived.
She wrote a book. She wrote a book,
She
people.
wrote a
She's
book,
good.
so she's still here. Um, but yeah, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. Like it's like right. Obviously, she'd be up in Everest. She's in Nepal. She's in Everest. Like I think if she wanted to do another push for like no oxygen, she could have kind of planned that separately. It did seem like I don't know. It seemed like an interesting choice to try to kind of like tack it on to this trip when that wasn't the main purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Look,
Yeah,
time and place. Like,
right.
if you're gonna,
Yeah,
that needs to be expressed up front. That needs to be a part of the training because
right.
doing that is, I think it's mental and physical. So
Yeah.
I don't like Peter. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care for Peter
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's likable, but whatever. But
Yeah.
I understand this is not the moment. This is not your
This
moment
isn't the
to do
moment.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's fair. That's fair. No, that's real. That's real. That's real. I
yeah.
think like I had that thought, but I just like kind of kept going and I was like, well, yeah, okay, like I guess whatever, but it's like right, like it's a little selfish to kind of like try to like make that about you and like what you want to do. But yeah, so he is annoyed, understandably so. And he hands her off to some guy named Ed Vesters, which that name sounds so familiar. I don't know if he's written a book, probably, but that name definitely sounds, I've seen it somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, he also seems to not really like Melissa. And like I don't know. I remember at some point in the chapter she like reads like some note that he wrote or something like that, or where he was like, or some email where he's like, Melissa's not gonna make it without oxygen. She doesn't have the eye of the tiger, or something like that. And like something, I don't know. But like he's just like, so I get it. I get it. Like I get it that she's just like this young girl and she's just like, I want to do this without oxygen, guys. And they're like, okay, like whatever. But I guess maybe Ed was also gonna do it without oxygen, maybe. I don't know, because I remember later on in the chapter it got revealed that he wasn't able to summit without oxygen. Um so I don't know, maybe he was gonna try and that's why they got paired together. But yeah, he also was just like, I get out of here, you little rascal. But anyways, the team gets assembled. I am curious like how these teams work because it sounded like it was like a fairly large number of people and maybe they get split up into smaller teams or like subdivided into smaller teams. That part wasn't super clear to me. I don't know if you caught that or
Um, well, there were two clients, and I think, the focus of these is always to get the clients up the mountain, and there were
true.
five guides. Um, I guess to some degree they could split up because obviously
Mhm.
if you're doing it with no
Yeah.
oxygen, it's going to require a little bit different type of pacing
Hmm.
potentially. I don't exactly know how they were doing it with no oxygen, but they were also guiding clients. That seems a little
Right. That's
odd.
yeah. Huh. Yeah.
So I really don't know. Like this is hard for me, and when I read, I kind of make movies in my head. I
Hmm.
couldn't quite visualize at any point a lot of these attempts or summits because
Yeah.
they'd be like, we're going up 18,000 to go down 15,000 to go around 13, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. My brain is like, I
Yeah.
guess it would be like if I had never rock climbed before, I couldn't imagine somebody describing a
Right.
slab or overhang and grabbing the
Mhm.
moves and heel hooking and like if I didn't know, but I guess I just don't fully know or understand the terrain of
Yeah.
these peaks, so
Yeah.
or these
Mm.
volcanoes for that matter. Um, but this
Yeah.
what to me this was interesting because they also had a videographer and a photographer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do one thing that's interesting to me about having a videographer and photographer is if that's still the case is like how are they training for this because they got gear. There's a different element when you have
Yeah.
to like be capturing and documenting something that are
Yeah.
you training for this just as much as they're training for this, like,
Yeah.
is your background mountaineering and you got into camera work? So I don't know, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can continue on with the side eye that nobody could see you side eyeing when I said the word
Yeah.
videographer.
I am, yeah. I mean, I am, I guess to your point, I am just like generally curious like how that works. And we like know a few folks who do maybe not mountaineering, but like climbing photography and stuff like that. But if folks know, I would be curious just like how any of that works. Cause like, right, like I do think they don't have to do all of this, at least for like rope climbing and stuff. I don't think that they have to do all of the like climbing necessarily.
No.
Like the client can like set up a rope that they can like ascend without having to climb and stuff like that. But like for something like mountaineering, you still have to like be acclimated to the altitude and you still have to like trek the distances and things like that. So yeah, I am curious what their training looks like. But oof, yeah. Yeah, so if folks know, chime in. It's a conversation, y'all. Um, but yeah, back to the side eye. Melissa, what you doing, girl?
She's doing what
So
she does best.
so she sets her sights. So right, there's a photographer. His name is Ian, and Melissa sets her sights on him. And yeah, he's 19 years older. And she meets him, I guess, during their training. And they catch a little vibe or whatever. It's cute. But after 2 weeks, he basically proposes to her. Like he's like, yeah, so we should probably just get married or whatever. And she's like, okay.
So here's the thing. This is one thing I'll say about Ian.
Yeah.
When you are dealing with a Brad
Mm,
who is clearly very dismissive, very jealous and untrusting, and then you meet a Ian who, again, when she dates these older men, they're already automatically going to have some insecurities. I'm telling you, they're coming into the
mm,
game with some insecurities.
mm,
I think Ian love bombed this child. I really do. And
mm.
I will say child because I'm sorry, 19 years, that could be your
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Now, Ian was so much of what Brad wasn't that she
Hmm.
couldn't even see like any issues with him. It's like when you're going from badder to bad, you don't know because it was so bad over there. How do I
Right.
know it's not as bad as it was over there? So it's
Right.
good, right? You know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I feel like the problems were almost instant. Like, yeah, okay, they had a very short honeymoon phase, and again, he's kind of adjacent to her career,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts on this whole Ian thing. I'll be honest. I
Yeah.
I I just I saw 19 years older and I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. But
Sure.
to your point, like I think about like you were like, if it goes from bad or to bad, you don't really know. But so it's like your measuring stick is always relative. Like what you're, yeah, how you're assessing like your current relationship is always relative to past ones. And I think that like it goes back to your point earlier of why it's so important to like really know yourself and be in love with yourself, because then that becomes your measuring stick. And your measuring stick is like, it's already up here,
Yeah.
so now everything is either like down here, it's either making you worse than you are by yourself, or it's making you better than you are by yourself. And I think it just changes when you have that relationship with yourself. It changes the way that you look at every other relationship. We are preaching today, Pastor Tiff.
Look, look, we gonna be relationship gurus soon. Single, but getting y'all there. Gonna get you
Exactly.
there, cause that's where you want to be. No, but it's I don't know. Yeah, I think for me, Melissa needed therapy a very long time ago
Yeah.
as a child. Um, because I still don't know the root of her. Like I mean, she was definitely uh, I'm about to use a word that's not a word, but she was
I want to
definitely.
hear what.
I I'm gonna say the real word,
Okay.
because it came to me. She was definitely preyed on,
Okay.
for sure. I'm not gonna discount that.
Were you gonna say
Um,
predator?
yes. Wait, I was gonna say predated. I was gonna say something so wrong. I was like predated. I was like, it's,
I'm sorry. Please
it's
continue.
still early. But but every time I see another one of these relationships, I know this is all coming from a really unhealed place.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like she could have just like had a fun time with Ian.
Right.
Like realistically, like y'all could have just hooked up and had fun and that'd be the end of it. Like why the extreme of marriage?
Right.
Like do we know what marriage is? I'm not thinking we
Yeah.
know what actual marriage like that. And
Yeah.
so I think that's why, like for me, I kind of tossed this whole section up in the garbage. I was like, all right, this is getting a little ridiculous now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like just
Yeah.
climb these mountains, sis. Just climb these
Right.
mountains. Like she made a
Get your
point that
money.
I mentioned, I think in the last episode.
Yeah.
She specifically said that women are her competition and she could not trust them. Like I
Mm,
told you that she had issues with women, and because I was
yeah.
like, she needs a friend, she needs a girlfriend to be like, girl, no, he ain't
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And because of the career that she is in, I keep wanting to say sport, but for her this was a career. Because of her career, she felt like she couldn't be friends with other women because they would be her competition automatically because there can't be multiple of us. And I said that that was her thinking, and that's why she don't have any friends, because I feel like she could have made friends with some of the people who was doing the tryouts with her. But she,
Yeah.
in her mind, she can't be friends with people who could potentially be her competition. And
Yeah.
that's where I need her to really find some healing, because you need some women as a mentor, as a friend. Like, I get it that
Yeah.
there's not a lot of women in the industry, so she didn't have it. But even Jerlyn, she was like, oh, no, that'll never be my mentor.
Yeah.
But
For
I'll be
sure.
inspired by her, but she can't be my mentor. Like, no, no way.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian is trash. I know I said that about Brad. But I
Well,
just think
here's the
he's
thing.
trash I just personally, I don't know. I
Yeah.
look, they're both adults. If you want
Hmm.
to date somebody who's 20, 25, 30 years younger, old, whatever, do you?
Hmm.
Um, but I wasn't rooting for it. I was just
No,
like, okay,
because it
cool.
wasn't real. We knew
Got it.
that. We're like, okay, we'll see what
I just
happens.
kept reading
You
quickly
guys are gonna
past.
get married. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I think even so she accepts when he proposes, which was like I like, is that what you want to just be laying in bed and somebody's like, yeah. I mean, I guess it depending on the setting, on like the entire context. Like, I wouldn't mind being proposed to. Like, we're just chilling in bed and you're like, so you trying to get married or what? And I'm like, yeah, sure. But that's like we've been in the game for like 2, 3 years. We like know each other. We really like each other. Like, this is like a real relationship, not just like a fling. Um, I'm not necessarily someone who needs formalities in that way, but I think she just kind of knows, even when she says yes, that it like feels kind of like wrong deep down. But yeah, there's an addiction. There's some version of an addiction going on here for sure. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
she said, and this was them. He was filming their practice expeditions,
yeah,
and she literally said, "I was pretending to want this life with Ian, but I knew
yeah,
deep inside that it would never work. It
yeah,
wasn't me, but I hoped it was taking me toward the life I wanted."
mm,
Like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this because I think it's gonna get me somewhere. Like, it's
yeah,
always to get a step
right,
forward.
yeah,
But then to me, you stumble back like multiple steps.
yeah, yeah. um, but now, so she's in Nepal, and
Yep, back in Nepal,
Brad is
getting that summit on.
fucking Brad. Brad is also there. Um, and why is he always there when she's there? I mean, I don't know. I guess he's just like a guide in Everest, and so that's the
Yeah.
season, and he's just around. But he's there, and I can't quite recall if he like tried to get her back or what their interaction was, but I think they like had a brief interaction, and it sounds like he like learned that she was with Peter, and somehow got into her hotel room. I also can't quite recall how, but somehow he got into her hotel room and goes through all of her stuff. I guess finds the contact information for Ian's hotel room. And just destroys her room, like tears it apart, but also calls her while she's in Ian's hotel room. So like just going through her stuff and just being super inappropriate. But that happens. I don't know. He sucks. These
And
guys
I guess
suck.
that's how he found out she wasn't get. I don't know. I kind of blacked out. Like this whole like Brad Ian thing. I
You're
just
like,
don't.
okay, yeah,
I don't know. It's almost like I'm having relationship fatigue for her. Like, I
yeah.
am just over. Like, how are you training to summit Everest, but you also got the weight of this stuff? Like,
I
this is too
know.
much. It's too
Yeah,
much. Stop, 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 stop.
yeah.
Like, I
It
can't.
does
I
seem like a
can't
lot.
handle those. And literally, I think the pages just go black for me until we get to something relevant.
Else,
Cause
yeah,
I'm like, sis, until you go to therapy or
yeah,
really address some of these demons, I have nothing. I
yeah,
literally have nothing else for you.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So I mean, ultimately, Ian ends up calling off the engagement. She,
Ultimately, I like how you just go to that last. This all happened within the same chapter. We
yeah,
got
it's a lot.
engaged and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
disengaged
We disengaged. Yes. Uh,
immediately.
yeah. So he calls that off.
Isn't that
Um,
crazy though? He called it off.
mhm. And
He had
yeah,
the audacity to be the one to call it off.
yeah. And in a way that was just as like casual and callous as the way that he like asked her to marry him. Like they're like laying in their tent.
Shocker.
Right, no, right? They're laying in their tent and
Hey,
he
babe, you
takes
want
his
to get
ring off.
married? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't trying to do this no more. Is that cool? Cool. Like, who are these people? Like,
Yeah,
because she ain't want to
that's
get married
basically what
either.
happened.
Yep,
That's
that's it.
basically what
Chapter
happened.
10 done. That's all you
Right.
need to know.
Pretty much. That's pretty much it. Yeah, she does try to do it without oxygen. She does fail on her initial summit push, but then she ends up, I guess they break up into I don't know if she broke up into a smaller group or if she met with other people that she knew who also happened to be in Everest at the same time. But she did end up summiting. Peter also gets to summit. Yeah, and that's kind of just it. That's it. That's what
Yeah.
happens. The
And
past two
she's
chapters were mainly about her relationship with Everest as a backdrop.
yeah. And she made the
But
summits, and then the other, and she
yeah,
dropped the other two summits. So, you know.
yeah, yeah. And I think actually, yeah, the only other thing is at the last night at base camp, I think that was when she and her team narrowly avoided being like buried by an avalanche. Like she said, she woke up in the middle of the night and like heard a deafening silence, and that alerted her to the fact that like something was wrong. And she looked around and she didn't see the lights of base camp or anything like that. And
Oh, that was this
somehow,
chapter? Sheesh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and somehow realized that an avalanche was coming. I don't know how any of this works. I don't understand snow or
Yeah.
avalanches.
Yeah,
But
no.
I was like, wow, those some cat like reflexes. I don't know. The reflexes are strong. So yeah, but she basically is like, yeah, I didn't summit without oxygen this time, but she's now like locked into that as a goal and really starting to just like think about how she can like really train for it and make it happen, which is what she should have done. But yeah, now she knows kind of like more or less what it takes, and she's ready to, I guess, try to really make that happen. Chapter 11, Exile. So it's 2009 still. She's in Idaho. I guess she's staying with Ian still.
Yeah, I
Maybe at
mean,
this
we
point.
didn't necessarily mention it, but in their brief engagement, somehow she moved in with his man.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
she was
While they
living,
were at Everest.
yeah.
Or just traveling to train for Everest.
And yeah, they're going through the motions of like officially canceling uh
Right.
this ridiculous wedding, but
Yeah.
I guess some weird, thing kind of circles back with her family now.
Yeah. So this one was a really short one.
Yeah, this was a very short chapter.
Yeah, her sister, I guess, let her know about ooh, my neck. Wow. Let her know about a family gathering in Montana, and she shows up uninvited, and it's kind of weird. I guess her dad, I think she and her dad were still like cool, and she still loves her dad. He still, excuse me, loves her. She's experiencing, though, obviously a lot of tension between her and her mother, and maybe to some extent her sister too.
Yeah, I think they never got close. And I think after the whole
Yeah.
calling CPS or whatever she did, I just don't think their relationship ever fully repaired after that.
Yeah. And her mom's just like, I don't see what you're complaining about. Like, you get to climb Everest, you do all this fun stuff, like your life's great, whatever. And it's just like, um, so yeah, that's kind of, I think it's just probably just like an awkward reunion. And a lot of the chapter is just, yeah, her having flashbacks to her time, when she lived, I guess, in Montana. Where did she live before? Colorado, and Montana, and just flashbacks to Officer Jones. And we learned that this man impregnated like a 16-year-old. And I was unclear if this happened like present day or if this happened like back in the day.
No, it happened during the same time that she was involved with him. So,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
this man was probably I'm sure he was fooling around with multiple young girls.
Ugh, yeah.
And because the way it read, she was jealous of the fact that he got a different young girl pregnant, not her,
Yeah.
because that girl got the life that she wanted.
Uh,
She
did
wanted that.
she?
Hmm. The
Yikes.
life
Did
she, at
she?
least the
I
life
thought
she
she
thought she
didn't.
wanted.
Wow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And did he go? I mean, we don't know because I don't think they tell us, but like, Did he go to jail
It didn't. It does not
or
mention uh any
what?
consequences
That's
or
so crazy. Oof.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's chapter 11, basically. I don't think there was really much more to
No,
talk
I think the
about.
thing that was interesting to me is that, by the end of this chapter, and even part of the reason why she even went on this weird family thing,
Hmm.
she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
everything's so bad. Might as well do something that's even worse that could be a distraction for how bad all the other stuff is in
Mm,
my life." Um,
mm,
but it was just interesting to me because she was like, you know, she really was like, I don't need anybody. I can do all this on my own.
hmm.
And I just yeah. Yeah, she was like, I wanted a different life, one where I wouldn't have to rely on anyone but myself, the only person I could really trust.
Yeah.
It says, I didn't need anyone. I was going to rise above it all by myself. I shifted my mind back to the slopes of Everest. The challenge there was nothing compared to what I had already survived.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? It's just me and Everest here on out.
Right.
So we shall see.
We we shall see. Yeah. So chapter 12. Excuse me. Full moon. She's back in Nepal, October 2010. Like we said in the last chapters, she's really wanting to train to climb Everest without oxygen. And in the beginning of the chapter, she kind of starts out by saying like nothing's really going the way that she planned. So yeah, but she's just trying to like kind of force. It feels like she's just kind of trying to force this thing to happen because she had like had the time carved aside. She had the plan for it, and she's just like, okay, well, if plan A doesn't work, we'll do plan B. Okay, plan B's not working. Let's do plan C. So she's just like going through her series of backup plans. Nothing really seems like it's working out. And I feel like she kind of had bad feelings about this trip from the beginning, but was so committed to it that she just kind of ignored maybe that intuition. But they end up climbing Barunts, which I guess is like maybe near Everest, in Nepal, but not Everest itself. Um, and she climbs it with Chuang, who is a friend that she had met in previous years being at Everest, and they just have grown closer through like a series of expeditions that they worked on together. And this chapter was just a chapter of tragedy. Like I guess
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. To maybe one thing that I would like to maybe just add is like some sort of trigger warning because there is like, you know, at some point in
Mhm.
the chapter like talk about abortions and or not abortions but like miscarriages and that sort of thing. Um so I guess just putting that out there, but yeah, so oh goodness. Honestly, this whole chapter should just be a trigger warning though, because it's just heavy.
Yeah.
But the first
Yeah,
the
if you
first
want to just catch back up with us on part 4, feel free.
yeah.
Cuz it definitely gets dark,
Yeah.
and I yeah, I'm sure if she could just throw a trip away, it would be this trip.
Yeah, totally. So the first tragedy that she kind of encounters is Chawang asks her for help because another climber, his friend, I don't think she knows this individual, but he's like
As a
suffering.
porter, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think he's suffering from uh, some version of altitude sickness. She calls it high altitude pulmonary edema or fluid filled lungs. I don't know anything about this, but he's asking her for help to kind of like help save this guy. And she tries to help. She tries to offer him medicine, but it's pretty clear after a certain point, like doing some testing, that like he's probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really understand any of this. But basically, she mentioned that like you know something about oxygen saturation. I guess I don't know if that's like how much oxygen is in your bloodstream or whatever, but it was like something like a number like 80 or something like that is like you don't want to go below that if you're just like walking around in an urban city. But here on the mountains, anything below like I think 75 or something like that could be catastrophic. And this guy's like oxygen saturation was at like 44 or something like that. So she's like, yeah, there's really not a whole lot I can do for him. And ultimately, this individual does end up dying. And this is at the beginning of her trip. Before they've even, I mean, I think it's at the beginning before they've even really kind of like tried to push to summit this particular mountain. So that's tragedy number one. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess just moving on, like, so she ends up moving into at some point throughout this experience. I don't know exactly when, but she mentions it in this chapter how she moves into a condo in Idaho near Ian. And I was just,
Yes. She
yeah,
finally got her own place. Hallelujah.
she did finally get her own place. It's interesting. I don't know. She didn't give many reasons. It's interesting that she chose Idaho. Um, because Mount Rainier, where's Mount Rainier? Mount Rainier in Idaho? Or is
No.
it in
No,
Wyoming?
that's
It's in
in I
Wyoming,
thought
right?
Mount Rainier was in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, you're so right. Oh my God. You're so right. I'm thinking of the Grand Tetons for some reason. But do you know what the Grand Tetons translates to?
No.
It means big boobs.
In what
Teton.
language?
I think French, I want to say. Yeah. Teton
No.
breast. I always thought that was really funny.
No surprise there, because let me guess who named it. We'll find
um,
out its native name, because these people, I cannot.
but anyways, so yeah, interesting that she chose Idaho. Interesting that she chose to be near Ian. Um, but so I don't know. I'm curious. I am curious, like what was behind that decision. If it was like out of necessity for some reason, or like if that was just really where she wanted to be. But of all the places, she said she moved basically down the road from Ian, but she don't want him. And he tries to get back with her, and she says no. But they do end up hanging out and hooking up one more time. Um, and she mentions John. I don't think we learned too much more about John, but she just
Just that
mentioned.
he's closer to her age, which she definitely was, clear to make that point. Like, he's not an
Yeah.
old man, finally.
It's also just like, I don't know. This is maybe another conversation for another day, but I am just so curious. Like, it just seems like some demographics have it easier time dating. I don't know. I was thinking about this. I was just like, I am not in, because like, I know people who are like, yeah, just constantly dating somebody, and maybe they don't all stick, but like they just are like dating. And maybe these are the people that use like dating apps, but I'm like, I don't, and also probably for at least for me, like I think a lot of it has to do with my location. Um, but I don't be dating like that, like it's like if I'm going on a date, like it's probably like I'm like really interested in this person and or like I'm at least, whatever. I guess that's the whole point of dating is just to find out if you're interested, but like I just don't I feel like if I like as a single person, like I feel like dating I'd be like maybe like once a month or once every 2 months I'm like going on a date. And like if we're like dating, then that's like okay, we're going to do that and like but I'm probably not the kind of person who's going to date like several people at one time and probably not the kind of person who's like gonna have like a dating situationship and then like maybe in that and then like a week later be in another dating situationship. Like I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but it's just like I don't how does she be finding so many guys all the time? Like
Well, I think there's a few things to factor in.
yeah.
Um, this was 15 years ago,
Yeah.
and the nature of how we communicate is
Yeah.
significantly different. Like,
Hmm.
people used to meet in bars, in social settings. Everyone is glued to devices. Like that, the concept of dating and meeting and connecting is significantly different. The
Hmm.
other aspect is she's a pretty blonde girl living in an outdoorsy
Hmm.
city doing outdoorsy things. She's
Yeah.
by nature going to attract a lot of men because she's in a very masculine sport and environment.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
she's that
Yeah.
on top of that. Like imagine if I was a guide, I would probably be meeting people left and right. Like you got to
Yeah.
keep in mind she's a female guide
Right.
and that's going to be attractive to a lot of men who want their significant other to be into the outdoors with them. So
Yeah.
I'm actually not surprised, even though we don't know anything about this John and if he's outdoorsy, how she even met him for that matter.
Right.
I'm not surprised. I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, I also think from her photo, she's an attractive blonde woman. Like
Hmm.
I think and again, it's also the person's personality. Like you and I may not be one to like date 18 different dudes at the same time,
Yeah.
but there are some people who, especially someone like her who we know has issues with the relationships, who is chronically in a relationship
Hmm.
and should not
Yeah.
be. Like the
Yeah.
reality of it is she really should just be focusing on that whole no oxygen thing. Why John is even remotely calling her contact like is like
Yeah.
seriously. Like I said,
Yeah.
this whole section for me, I'm not I couldn't keep up in the first two sections with these men. And I'm just like, we got
Yeah.
one section and we got three more new ones. Like I cannot.
Yeah.
I let me know when you get married again. Like I'll pay attention maybe, but
Yeah.
so I just kind of glossed over it and was like, whatever, whatever. I am glad she got her own place. I don't know how long she was in Idaho, but I think if you move somewhere and you kind of like it, you don't
Yeah,
just
you
run
just
back
stick
to
around.
Seattle. She
That's
don't
true.
have,
That's
she
fair.
doesn't have any. It's not like she had like friendships. And isn't Brad in Washington anyway? Like
Probably.
his home base is probably there. So to be honest, her
Yeah.
best bet is to stay in Idaho and keep a little bit of
Yeah.
distance.
That's probably true. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. That's true. Yeah.
So that's where I went with it. But
Yeah. Wow.
back to the tragedies.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the tragedies. Yeah. Also, wow. I am just having so many thoughts that I'll save for later. But um so excuse me. So we're back in Everest. So yeah, at some point, I don't know if this happened before she went to Everest or what. I'm guessing so, but all right, she mentions moving to Idaho or set up moving into her own place in Idaho. And now in the story, we're kind of back in or not Everest, Nepal. Um, and yeah, she is with the group of folks, Chewang, some of his friends, and in this particular part, they're heading Chewang and a group of other folks are heading up the mountain to prepare for the summit. I didn't really he basically said that they were setting up ropes for the summit. I don't really understand enough about how mountaineering works to really, like you said, kind of visualize what's going on, but basically she's kind of at base camp hanging out. They're getting ready to like set up for the summit, and I think the plan is that they're going to come back down and she's going to join them, and then they're going to like make the push to the summit. But when Chawang and the other group of mountaineers head up to prepare for the summit, they head they head back, but they head back without Chawang. And it turns out that he died while they were like kind of like setting up the ropes. There was like a ridge underneath him. I guess that maybe was made of ice or snow, is what it sounds like. And it basically broke off, and it broke loose. The piece that he was standing on broke loose, and he just like he was on a sheer cliff and he fell to his death. They just never really saw him after that, which is just so awful and so terrible.
And he was Side note, he was about to break like the record for the most
Uh-huh.
Everest summit attempts. I think he was about to be at 14, or he was at, maybe he was either at 14 or was about to get to 14,
Yeah.
and he had attempted Everest the most amount of times, or
Wow. Yeah.
summited. He was about to be the most summited.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So tragedy number two. And I think this just throws obviously everybody for a loop. His friends are just like inconsolable. And just, I mean, some of them I think managed to hold it together, but then I know that she mentioned there were other friends who were just like, just catatonic or just like really not, yeah, able to process. Cause I mean, to see, oh God, I can't even imagine. Like to witness that happening is just, yeah, that's so, God, that's so crazy.
I think
But
it's even harder too is when, you witness it happening, you can't really do
do
anything about
anything.
it, but
Yeah.
you also don't see him. So there's this thin
Yeah.
line between hope
Right.
and hopelessness,
Right.
and teetering between that, because for them, they witnessed it, so they know it's not good, but
Right.
they don't know he's dead per se.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he fell, broke his back, and you see his body lying on the ground. Like, he fell
Right.
into this abyss essentially,
Right.
and it's like, could he have survived? Like, it is possible, but if you can't be found, that clock is going to be ticking very quickly.
Right. I think that, yeah, that's like really good context to add. I think there's just like a certain, like, it's like they probably knew deep down, like, there's like a 2% chance that this man survived this fall. Like, odds are pretty high that he didn't make it. But without seeing the body, without like seeing him actually dead, like it's like there's almost like this like closure, this like lack of closure where like your brain is like holding on, like you said, to this teeny tiny chance that he like could still be alive. And yeah, it's like that. I think that lack of like completeness would like really kind of like mess with me. Um, and for a few days, like they don't go back and check for him immediately, but I do think that like in the aftermath, like the next day, you know, and like maybe for like a couple of days after, like teams go out and they do try to like search for him. Um, but they're not able to find him or recover his body. Um, and so, yeah, eventually she and her crew, they leave, and I think maybe where they were heading was impassable. So she suggests going to Chawang's village. Um, and when they fly over it, they see that the funeral proceedings have started, and I think they practice like Buddhist funeral proceedings,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. Um, and so she goes to his family and she pays respects. um, this is not a present tragedy, but it is like a premonition, I guess, for a future tragedy. I don't know if she'll end up talking about this in detail in the book, but while she's there paying her respects, one of Chuang's friends, Ang, I don't quite know how to pronounce his last name, but um, I think his first name is pronounced Ong, maybe. And he kind of helps take care of her, makes her some tea, just tries to help her like settle and get comfortable. And years later, he ends up dying, and she has to come back to Everest to kind of like support his wife and pay respects to his widow and his family. So yeah, just a chain of tragic events. Mountaineering is, I mean,
Yes.
wow. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
the more I read these books, you're not gonna have this sister trying. That's one
I'm like,
adventure I'm good
yeah.
on.
It's kind of, I mean, and as a climber, it's like, I guess I shouldn't really talk because, like, obviously climbing tragedies happen a
Yeah.
lot too.
Yep. Yep.
It's a part of the game, but
Yeah. Rock and ice.
yeah.
It's all got its.
And we take calculated risks, but wow, like mountaineering is like a different beast, you know? Because like to some extent, like with climbing, like you can get yourself in some bad situations, but like if I'm out at a crag and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I can like put up my bail carabiner and I can just lower down and collect my gear. And at the most, I lost like a $20 piece of gear and it's fine. You know, or maybe I'm trad climbing and I've lost like $100 piece of gear, whatever. Like I can bail on the route and like come down and it's fine. Once I get my feet back on the ground, I'm okay. And you know, things can still happen, but like for the most part, like I can get back to my car fine, everything's fine. Like I'm at an altitude that's comfortable. It's like you're mountaineering, you're out here. Like you're just out here, you know, like, and it's not no, okay, in like 2 hours, I'll be back home. I'll be fine. It's like maybe in like 2 days, if I'm lucky, like I could like, you know, I don't know, get back to somewhere that's like relatively safe, but probably still won't be my home.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah,
risk
I don't know.
factor is significantly higher. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Like, yes, climbing in general
Yeah.
is inherently dangerous,
Yes.
but I think the higher you go, the more dangerous it is. Like,
Yeah.
the closer you get to the mother,
Right.
the more dangerous. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And I think
Yeah.
some people are always fighting for that extra level of extreme. And that's why they go from rock climbing to trad climbing
Yeah.
to mountaineering to alpinism. Or, like, I think that's why you just keep raising the
Right.
buck, is catching that next extreme thrill.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's what some people are chasing. And, more power to them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm
Live
good.
your
I'm
life.
not running that race. You got
Yeah.
that race all on your own.
Yeah. um so yeah. So that's yeah, I guess tragedy 2, 3, I don't know. But that was all just like that sucked. Cuz she also just like shared so much about Chawang in that story and like their connection and their friendship and he seemed like a really beautiful person. And yeah, that was really awful to hear about. Um, Her father mentions that tragedies or catastrophes come in threes. I feel like there might be a catastrophe that I'm overlooking, but I can't quite recall. But she
Well, they
mentioned
haven't gotten to the third one yet, but that
right. So
right?
there was a third one. Yeah, exactly. And then I thought that like for some reason I thought that the way that she mentioned in the book, I thought that that like Chawang's death was one tragedy. The one we're about to talk about was a second tragedy,
I thought the
or there was a
porter was
second.
the first. The porter was the
That's what I
first.
thought. That's what I thought. Okay, because I don't know. When I read it, I was like, I feel like my math is not quite working
Yeah,
out
I
the
looked
way
at
that
it
it
as
should.
Porter Chawang, and then the one that we're about to talk about
Okay.
was the third. And I
Okay.
actually agree with that. I used to have a thing about threes and things happening in
Huh.
threes. I
Oh
try not
yeah.
to put my mindset there on the negative side anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So third tragedy. Um. Ugh.
She goes
She this wasn't
back.
a part of the tragedy, but she did end up meeting with Ian after she got back from Nepal and she told him about these terrible things that happened to her and how her homie like died on this mountain and he's just like, well, people die every day. So I don't really get it. Like what's the big deal? And he just sucks. Like again, I just want to underscore that he sucks. But I think at one point during the chapter also, or maybe during maybe during this chapter, he was like trying to kind of, oh yeah, we did talk about how he was trying to get back with her, and she said no, which good for you. Um, but third tragedy, she finds out that she was pregnant. They had like a little hookup. We mentioned like shortly after she moved back to Idaho, they were like just hanging out, and they like ended up hooking up one more time. And months later,
Before we go there though, cuz I
yeah.
think something important of note in my mind before
Mm.
that even occurred is that when she left Nepal after all of the tragedies and
Yep.
Chuang's death,
Mhm.
and she stayed with a friend named Christine. in
Hmm.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I was like, stop the presses.
Oh
When did
yeah.
we get a friend
I know.
that is a
Interesting.
female in Seattle?
Yeah.
Like, now I'm like, why did you move to Seattle? Like, you got a whole
Yeah.
like who? It just
Mm.
came out of nowhere. Like, I'm telling you, look, I like this book, but it is
Yeah.
so selective in what it's revealing that I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
what is it? She was one of the only girlfriends I had managed to keep for more than a year at a time.
Yeah. Right.
How is she not more? I felt like wouldn't she have been a bigger part of this story? Like, how did you maintain that friendship? Like, how
Friendship.
did it
Yeah.
happen? I mean, maybe we'll get to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting anyway.
No, I
And
agree.
she's the one, I think Christine was the one who insisted she go see a doctor because she was having, these pains or whatever.
Yeah.
She was like having these pains from her abdomen down to her legs, and
Mm.
she was nauseous, and all this hadn't gone away from the flight. So Christine was like, yeah, you need to go see a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Christine, shout out to like having a friend though, like and somebody like yeah, looking out for you because clearly these men are not doing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Um she does find out that she's pregnant and that's after she, visits a doctor on her friends from her based on her friend's advice. Um and she also finds out that it was a miscarriage. So yeah. Um
She also
that
got into, like, this is crazy. Didn't she get into a car crash? Why did I write down that she got into
hmm.
a car crash on her way to see the
Which
doctor? Did that not happen?
it might
I think
have.
maybe did
Huh.
I make something up?
Wait, now let me double check. I don't think you would have made it up. Hold on, let me see. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Bags were in India. She's on a
Yeah,
Christine.
yes. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
She
okay.
climbed into her rental car to
Right.
go to the urgent care. Um, the clinic staff greeted my arrival with concerns. I must have looked like death. I Okay, maybe
Hmm.
not. Maybe I made it up. I don't know.
Wait, no. Okay, no, but maybe you're right though, because I think that might have been the catastrophe that I thought that I was missing or something like that. Hold on, let me see. Uh,
I thought her rental car. She crashed her rental car, but for some reason
wait,
now I'm not finding it. So I don't know.
interesting. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Huh.
I wrote it down, but I don't know.
There was something though. I'm telling there it felt like there was something that happened in between like her coming back from Nepal and her finding out that she was pregnant that I was like, "Oh, is this like counting as one of the Oh, wait, hold on. No, you're right. You're right. In the footnotes. As I
Oh,
crossed the
that's where it
exit.
came. Was in the foot. I was like, why can't I find it? Of
Yeah.
course, it's in the freaking footnotes.
Yeah. So as she crossed the interstate, the car in front of her slammed on their brakes, sending the car behind me smack into me. Yeah, everyone was fine, just property damage. I remembered my dad telling me catastrophe travels in threes, and I wondered what might be next. So I feel
That's
like she
where.
was counting
Yeah.
that as a second tragedy.
Yep.
And for
Yep.
me, I
Yep.
was like, not this man that just, I mean, that's awful. That's awful. Sounds like you got a bonus tragedy. But yeah, I don't know. For me, the
Okay.
tragedies
So it was
definitely started at the
Chuang,
beginning.
the car crash, and then the doctor. Got it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, why did I write that she got in a car crash if she did not get in a car crash?
Yeah.
Which is,
He was just like half sleep reading this like
I mean, I
2
do, and maybe I like to, I'm creative. I like to add to the
a.m.
story.
um but yeah, so that's kind of like her third tragedy. I don't know. Honestly, I've kind of lost count because I definitely consider, even though she didn't know the guy at the very beginning of the chapter, it's like that's still really tragic, and that would be really hard for me. Like the
Yeah.
idea of just like interacting with a person at all in any way, and then like them being dead, like that, my mind still struggles to wrap its mind around like death in that way and how binary it is. Like it's like you're either, I don't know. Anyways, so that whole thing trips me up. That would have counted as one of my tragedies for sure. But she's just having a time in this chapter. So she finds out she's pregnant. She finds out it's a miscarriage, and she tells Ian. And once again, he just sucks. Like he's just super dismissive, kind of rude about it, and he's just like, "Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, doesn't sound like either of us wanted kids, so it's probably for the best. So whatever." And it's just like really just horrible about it. I'm like, all of these really bad things are happening and you can't offer an ounce of kindness or sympathy. I don't know. So, I mean, hopefully this is the last time that we hear of Ian. I think that she just kind of like hangs up the phone and like gets that conversation over with as quickly as possible. And it sounds like as the chapter's wrapping up, she is like really trying to like redirect her focus back to like mountaineering and her goals and just like, yeah, like doing the
The
things that
no
she really
oxygen
wants
thing
to do.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Like it sounds like she just, yeah, is like trying to like, for the first time that I've noticed in this book, it sounds like she's trying to actually like experience the grief and like move through it. Like she says, I had returned home and lost part of myself. I had cried and stopped crying. I had imagined what it would feel like for time to stop freezing me here in this pain. But time just kept going. The full moon would wane and then come back again, whether I was hurt or healed. And it sounds like she went through a lot of like crying and grieving and like maybe for the first time is like starting to like really process some of the like really just crappy things that she's experienced. So I'm hoping that we don't hear from Ian again. I'm hoping we don't hear from Brad again. We don't really need you around, John. Like come back another time. But yeah, I'm just hoping that like this is like a turning point for her.
Yeah, it would be nice if the next part, which is 5 chapters, um, is about her and her really accomplishing. Like I imagine she's gonna accomplish her goal in this next part for some reason, because I think
Yeah.
she's done the no oxygen thing multiple times.
Yeah.
So maybe this was like a reset. You know, usually when I used to hear that whole bad things come in threes, then good things
Mm.
follow after that.
Mhm.
It's like a cleansing,
Hmm.
like deep cleansing of the system, and maybe things get better.
Yeah.
I just know, her going back to Nepal and facing Chuang's family and wife and kids, like I would need a little bit more time, me myself personally, but
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's her path to healing.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Well, that was part three. Part three, right?
Part three
Not
was
part four.
rough. I don't
Part three
know.
was rough.
I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we had a lot going on between this part. So
Yeah.
I I am hoping part four feels a little bit different because part three just felt like a weird shift. And also
Hmm.
I think I just got super drained with the relationships.
Yeah.
Um I don't know. Now
Right.
it's like it's making me feel like the last book was a bit more refreshing because
Hmm.
she when she was done and walked away and was trying to get sober, she wasn't doing all this. So this is like her drug almost. These men
Yeah.
and relationships, and I'm starting to feel the effects of her addiction, and it's like, ugh,
Mm.
I don't want to feel
I don't want to
this.
go there with you. Yeah.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
outside and you know
Yeah.
climb the snow? I don't know what y'all climbing, but sounds like I don't know. It's just a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
hopeful. I'm hopeful that part four will feel a little bit better, and we can all go into this new year on a high.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Yeah, thanks for listening, y'all. Thanks for joining us. That's gonna wrap up, I think, this episode, but we'll be back so soon with another one. Yeah, part 4. And yeah, I'm excited to get into that. But I guess in the meantime, share
Join
your
our book
thoughts.
club if you want to make
Yes.
recommendations for next
Oh my
season's
God.
theme or books. Please join our book club. We would love to know. Link is in all the places. So join our book club, follow along, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
Feel free to leave a review. I don't read reviews and probably won't ever. Look, I enjoy that you all are on this journey, and we hope that just maybe not this part, but just reading, gives you a little bit of joy and provides a little bit of wellness in between your
Yeah.
own adventures. So
Yeah.
thank you as always for joining us.
Yay. Wee.
See you next time.
Bye.
Books and Boulders, an adventure podcast produced by First Outdoor Company for climbers, readers, and everyone in between. Subscribe now and join the BB Book Club.